The steel mill is coming back, and so are the jobs. For 10 years, the old Iskat Ispat plant at Point Leasis has sat quiet. That is changing. Trade Minister Kama Maharaj has announced that government has signed a memorandum of understanding with a Canadian firm to restart the steel mill, an investment starting at $50 million and scaling to $150 million, with projected exports of about $1.5 billion a year. Here's the part that reaches ordinary people. They will buy our scrap. In the minister's words, they will buy every pound of scrap that we have. And our tires. TNT discards 1.1 million tires every year. The company is buying all of them. So, they're cleaning up the country. And the jobs. The scrap sector supported an estimated 25,000 livelihoods before the 2022 shutdown. It's down to 10,000 to 13,000 today. A working mill is how that number climbs back. The industry itself has welcomed it. Scrap Iron Dealers Association President Alan Ferguson. We welcome the steel mill opening. We have absolutely no problem with it. Steelworkers Trade Union President Timothy Bailey agreed on the principle. Any plan to reopen the steel mill would be a good idea. Outside of energy, the steel plant was once one of the single largest contributors to this economy. Bringing it back means jobs in South Trinidad, a market for scrap that currently has nowhere to go, and a cleaner country in the bargain. Crime doesn't pay, and as of this week, the law can prove it. There's a question that's frustrated law-abiding people in this country for years. How does somebody with no visible job own all of that? As of this week, the state has a firmer answer. On July 31, 2026, under Legal Notice Number 596 of 2026, another section of the Miscellaneous Provisions, FATF Compliance, Act was brought into operation. Signed at the Office of the President, St. Anne's, on 30 July. Plain English. This is the act covering proceeds of crime, anti-terrorism financing, the financial intelligence unit, securities, insurance, nonprofit oversight, and the big one, civil asset recovery and unexplained wealth. What that means in practice. Where wealth can't be explained, it can be questioned. Where property is the proceeds of crime, it can be recovered. Where dirty money moves through the system, there are teeth to stop it. And there's a second benefit most people never see but all of us pay for. Meeting FATF standards is what keeps Trinidad and Tobago off the international gray list, and graylisting is what makes foreign banks treat ordinary TNT businesses as high risk, slows wire transfers, and raises the cost of doing business for everybody. So this isn't only about catching criminals. It's about a country that international finance treats as clean, credible, and open for business. Laws are only words until somebody switches them on. This week, another one got switched on. 72 children, 24 schools. One big idea, that nothing has to be waste. 72 students from 24 primary schools turned bottles, boxes, and scrap into art, and in the process learned something a textbook can't teach. Sumkal's Trash to Art competition challenged children across the country to build original pieces entirely from recyclable material. At the awards ceremony, Libertville TML Primary School was crowned the winner. Sumkal Chief Executive Officer Ria Ramdeen put it plainly, this competition serves as a reminder that waste is not merely something to be discarded. With imagination and vision, it can be repurposed into something of value. They inspire us to become more conscious of our impact on the environment and our role in building a more sustainable future. Minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Clyde Elder, connected it to the bigger picture. The competition, he said, promotes environmental awareness, encouraging sustainable behaviors, and empowering young people to become active participants in building cleaner, healthier, and more resilient communities. He added that the children proved the case themselves. Materials, often considered waste, can be transformed into useful, decorative, and meaningful creations through imagination and collaboration. Waste reduction, reuse, recycling. Not as a lecture, as a competition children actually wanted to win. Congratulations to Libertville TML Primary and to every school, teacher, and parent who took part. This is how you raise a generation that takes care of its country. The village moved, and the vendors are glad it did. Business is up at the Lidge Yasu Omawal Emancipation Village, and the entrepreneurs there say the new location is part of the reason. This year the village shifted further east on the Queen's Park Savannah, closer to Jerningham Avenue, onto the grass. Vendors say foot traffic and sales have climbed steadily through the week. Marcia Seals Rodney of Afroccessories, who was skeptical about the move at first, changed her mind fast. I feel as if the grass gave us extra life. I also felt the space looked more sophisticated with the green space, better than just being on the hard concrete. I didn't mind the move after all. She's exceeded her daily sales targets and says this year is beating last year outright. Josephine Hayford, who has traveled from Ghana to Trinidad for 25 straight years to trade at the village, spoke about what has grown around her. When we first came to Trinidad, I did not see shops like this. Now I am so proud and happy. I see a lot of people doing Africa wares, earrings, headbands. Chanel of de Jeunesse on the organization of it. I am really happy how they organized it. I think it has good traction. A lot of people from the environs come and visit after work. Touring the village, National Carnival Commission Chairman Peter Canhai explained the thinking. The North Stand stays standing for Carnival, so the village moved onto the green. Speaking with the officials of the Emancipation Support Committee, they are very happy with the space. They like the fact that they have the greenery on the ground. A cultural festival that also pays rent, buys school books, and keeps small businesses alive. The village closes today. If you're heading to the Savannah for Emancipation Day, bring your wallet and support a local entrepreneur. The next budget has one target: the cost of your life. Finance Minister Davindernath Tanku has set out the test his second national budget will be measured against, and it isn't a number on a spreadsheet. It's your standard of living. I'm looking to try to improve the conditions of life and livelihoods in Trinidad and Tobago in difficult revenue circumstances, the minister told reporters. But I assure you, we're going to continue in the same way we contributed in my first budget, which we focused the attention on improving the quality of life and stability of people, even despite our constraints. He was speaking after a new plaza opened its doors, a private company putting its own money into the country, and the minister read it exactly as it looks. There is confidence in the economy of Trinidad and Tobago. There is confidence in the policies of the government, and that things are starting to look much, much better. We are not where we want to be as yet, but we are getting there. He called it a substantial demonstration by the business community of confidence in the economy. The minister also pointed to the international credit rating agencies now taking a more favorable view of this country's prospects, a shift this page has tracked all year. Moody's lifting the outlook from negative to stable in June, and S&P reaffirming Trinidad and Tobago's investment-grade BBB rating in July. Decline stemmed. Confidence returning. Budget aimed squarely at people's lives. That's the direction.